Hey folks, it's been a while. Welcome back to PewTube. I have been kind of swamped with this whole how are we going to teach everything online stuff that's going on right now, as well as just some family issues and other stuff. So I have not been keeping up, and that's just the way it is. So you know what? No one's paying me to do this, so no one gets to complain. But I do have a backlog of things I've been meaning to get around to posting. Apologies for some of the folks I've been trying to guest in, and I haven't gotten those dealt with yet. But in the meantime, I noticed what was getting the most hits on both the Fight Designer channel, that was my main one and had some of the early firearms stuff, and on PewTube, which is my theatrical firearms and film firearms channel now that you are on here. But a lot of the most popular stuff was the product reviews. And I needed to test a new editor. I've been working on Final Cut Pro, and I need to learn Premiere because of some 360 video stuff I'm experimenting with. So I figured I'd do that by throwing together another PewTube video. And the fastest, easiest way to do that is to test some of these new props that I've got. So, ba-bam! Here we go. First thing I'm going to look at, the only actual new one here to me is this Retay G19C. Now, some of you may know that the Glock 19 is a slightly smaller, slightly more compact version of the Glock 17. I've done previous reviews on the Umarex gas blowback versions. They've got fully trademarked versions that are pretty nice of both the Glock 17 and the Glock 19. Here's the thing I'm looking for. And I have recently, I forget if it was PewTube or Fight Designer, I've already done firing reviews and my reviews of the Retay Glock 17 copy, the Retay 17. Now, of the lineup of the Brunis and the Zorakis, Zoraki 917 and the Retay 17, this is kind of middle of the road for me. The Brunis I just don't trust as much in general, but I'd also never had a new one. Now I do, so I can test that too. But just ergonomically, I'm not as big a fan of these as I am of the Zorakis. They've got these finger grooves, and that first one there is so freaking tiny. There's no way that my finger can fit in that, and I don't think anybody but a kid's finger could fit in that, and frankly, kids shouldn't be messing with these anyway. So it's just not comfortable. It's just not ergonomic. And there's some weird things like this little hole that they've got in the back or whatever. But on the other hand, you know, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth because blank firing Glock replicas are really hard to find in the US. And there are some nice things about them. They tend to be fairly reliable. They come in these nice fitted cases and all. So I was pretty happy with that. And then sometime over the course of the last year, I was able to pick up this Glock 19C copy, is what they call it. But here's the thing. What they call a G19C is really the exact same frame as the G17. It is not a more compact version. It is not a copy of a Glock 19. Really, the only difference, as far as I can tell, is they put some cutouts on the slide. Now, this is something that occasionally they'll do when they're trying to look a little fancier. Let me zoom in a little more here so you can see. So sometimes they'll try and make it look like it's a ported firearm by cutting these cutouts in the slide. But the thing is, the barrel does not have any ports. So you're still not going to get the actual flash out of those ports the way you would with a real one. And of course, there's not really any recoil with these because there's no equal opposite reaction mass going forward stuff. So you don't really have to have a ported barrel. It's not going to be functional in any way, shape, or form. And if you did, you'd probably have issues with cycling because it wouldn't build up as much pressure if you added some extra vents up top. You'd have to have more of a restriction in the front and less flash out the front to get some at the top as well. So these are purely cosmetic. They might lighten it a little bit. I don't know if anybody cares about having a lighter blank firing replica. But all the same issues apply with the Retay G17 of that finger groove being way too small and just ergonomically it not being great. But, you know, it feels pretty good. It didn't come in the fitted case this time. It came in a more standard sort of eggshell foam crate case. It did come with an orange tip, but that unscrewed fairly easily. And it also came with the fairly standard flare adapter kind of thing, although it's a little more cylindrical, which should make it a little bit easier to perhaps, if I wanted to, find some pipe that fitted over that and make a dummy silencer, although I already have dummy suppressors that fit on some of these, so I'm not going to mess with that anytime soon. But I thought I'd do a firing test to see how this worked. And then we can also maybe compare it to, I finally got some that were not super used and abused, of the Bruni 8mm. This is basically like a Glock 26. And this, you know, the finger groove actually does fit, you can see. Now this is the compact version. I do have one where I added a pinky rest to the magazine well, so that you can have somewhere to put your pinky. But this is a great sort of concealed carry or detective backup kind of weapon as well. But these are top venting. I got another 2 of these just because they were a super deal. So let's try some of these out, see how they work, shall we? Now, as always, when you're testing out a new prop, you want to make sure you've got eye and ear protection. I mean, ear protection, I'm doing this in a basement. It's going to be loud. I warned everybody in the house. I haven't warned the neighbors, but I'm not sure how much of the sound actually comes out from there. I don't have any houses actually attached to mine. So at least I'm not sharing a wall with anybody who doesn't know. But let's go ahead and just do a few shots and we'll see how that looks, shall we? I ordered some soundproofing foam ages ago. Never came. Not sure what the deal is with that. So this is a standard 9mm PAK blanks. I'm using these right now. So I'll go ahead and chamber 1. See how it goes. Yep, no problem. I think that's about as much as I want to do right now. So I'll clean that up and call that good. So yeah, it feels decent for a blank gun. You know, the trigger isn't super gritty and chunky. I know some of the other Ritays I had that issue with them. But yeah, not really worried about it. Seems to be working fine. I guess I could have put that on high speed. Oh, I didn't test this one. These have a little bit of corrosion on them, so I would never send these out with a client, but testing props is fairly ideal as use for them, as far as I'm concerned. That or workshops where sometimes a jam can be educational. So let's try this out. Now this one's a top venting, so you'll see the little plume coming up there instead. And this is 8mm. Great. Yep. Cycled just fine. No jams. So yeah, the other thing about these Brunis is I don't think I had ever been able to buy one brand new. The Glock had shut down all imports of replicas by the time I was starting to get seriously into this stuff. So almost all of the Bruni ones that I had found had been older from when they used to be imported by like Western Stage Props, I think it was. So I probably had a bit of a biased opinion of them. So I do know that these will wear out because I have some older ones that don't work as well. Some of those I've sold off in the meantime. But I got a great deal on these and they were pretty much brand new, so I was excited to give it a shot, and I'm glad I did. So, more options for you. And because those are top venting, they might be a little less ideal for film and television. They could be still a little too loud for some theater. So again, it's that fine line. Top venting tends to be more popular in live theater, where you don't want to send anything out because you can't necessarily clear an aisle as easily as you can on a set when you're just firing off camera. 8mm is a little quieter than 9mm, so it's got that going for it, but it's still pretty loud, so there's going to be select opportunities where that's going to be my go-to prop. But it's such a rare one. If nothing else, having a hammerless model like that to use for workshops is always a good thing too. One other thing I wanted to test today here is I took another shot at putting one of my Ekol Jackal Select Fire Beretta 92s in this sort of Roni Carbine adapter kit, because I was inspired by having seen a friend up in Canada do it, who I tried to interview, and I just haven't had time to edit that down because we had a long chat. It's a problem. I talk with friends, it takes forever. So I just thought I'd also see if this would cycle, out of curiosity. Now this is a Roni kit that was designed to work with airsoft, not with blank guns. The real Roni kits cost a couple $100. I wouldn't test that without knowing it would work. This I got a much better deal on, was cheaper. I mean, in theory, it's not that different from something like the ASI kit, which basically just puts a plastic shell over top of the Jackal kit. And similarly, it has a little side charging handle, but then this kind of just slides over the top of the slide. We shall see how this works. Chamber around. And it does have a rail, so if I wanted to, I could put on a red dot sight or something up there. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah! That worked great. That was fun. So, obviously with these 30-round mags, you can burn through a lot of money pretty quick if you wanted to. You figure blanks run 50, 60 cents a piece, unless you get them on sale. I'm not going to burn through a lot of money right now, but that was going a lot better than I expected. I tried these one time earlier when I was in Wyoming, and I just could not get it to work right. So this time I altered the plastic a little bit, did some other things to fit it, and now it seems to work like a beaut. So that'll be fun to play with. So again, this is here, let me show you the box. This is the CAA Airsoft version of the Roni adapter, and you can get these for a number of different firearm types. This one is for the Beretta, and I just did that because the Jackal is available in select fire, and I liked the idea of having basically a PDW or a subgun. And this is just plastic. I can take this part off. But you can also get them that fit Glocks. You can get them that fit SIGs. I think 1911s. I've got footage, otherwise on PewTube, of a shell ejecting airsoft 1911 in a similar carbine kit, but it's a different type. So anyway, and this does say for airsoft only on the side, but since everything's venting through the barrel, this is a front venting prop, so I don't have to worry about it like blowing bits of stock out. And the barrel comes to about here, but this is a metal insert, aluminum, but I'm not too worried about it. It seems to be working fine. So what I'll probably do now that I know it works, is pull this orange plug off. If I can get the paperwork filed for that, and then I'll have another nice little option for a PDW that can fire blanks next time I get a chance to use something like that in a movie or TV show or web series or something. Rarely do we use these in live theater just because 9mm blanks are so loud. Once again, I really wish that we had a 22 semi-automatic blank gun that fired like nail gun blanks from a hardware store. That's been a pipe dream of mine for ages. But I am not a proper gunsmith, and I don't know how to build one. So, alright, so now on to the editing part of the experimentation, now that we've had the fun with the firing, and then later the cleaning, because that comes too. I hope everybody's staying safe, sane, and healthy in this most interesting of times through which we are living. As usual, if there's something neat you're dying to see or dying to know, by all means, hit me up, send me an email, leave a comment, subscribe, like, share, whatever. You can find the Theatrical Firearms Handbook is still available through Rutledge.com and through Amazon. And there's a Facebook page for the Theatrical Firearms Handbook. I'll put a link down there as well. I usually put shares up there. I also have the Screen Combat Handbook is my second book. That's also out now. I can put some links up there. I'm about to head into the beginning of fall semester, which is going to be primarily teaching online, my first time doing that. So I expect to be a little crazy and a little busy this fall. So there may not be another one of these for a while. But, if there's something you really want to see, shoot me a comment, shoot me an email, let me know. I'll see if I can hook you up sometime. All right, take care.